I have to jump in and go to the Saturday Night Live world with you, if you don't mind, and how you got involved in that. How did SNL first come across your radar screen, Al?
Well, it didn't exist when I just got a call from an agent saying you've been hired to do this, and
as a writer,
yeah.
Pretty much.
What happened is Tom Davis and I did stand up
Yes.
in L.A. and this agent said, "Can you come in? You guys are great writers. Would you like to write for a variety, a comedy variety show?" And we said, "Yeah, but there's nothing on that we can do because the Carson show is on, which was great.
Yeah,
but we weren't Mighty Carson art players, writers, or kind of that monologue kind of writer. Carol Burnett was another variety show on. It was a great show,
of course.
Generationally wrong for us.
Yes.
Sonny and Cher, not a great show, not right for us. So he said, write something. Why don't you just write a writing sample for something you'd like to see on the air?
Right.
So we wrote a newscast, a commercial parody, a sketch, which was a parody of Sonny and Cher, and a conceptual film, and that was it. For those of you,
that's the 10 poles of Saturday Night Live right there. Those are 4 of them right there. Pretty much.
I mean, and believe me, they were not. It wasn't exactly like what we ended up with. But actually, the commercial parody we wrote was on, and so, but it was 14 pages long, and I just I know that there are people who want to be comedy writers, and as a veteran writer, people give me, like, someone's nephew wants to be a comedy writer, and they'll give me 50 pages of stuff, and you can tell after a couple pages if this person has an original voice and is funny. And sometimes I'll give some critique, and they'll go, "But I executed a premise."
Yes.
I go, "Okay, that's not it. You have to do it funny, and you have to have some kind of something that makes you a little different." So anyway, that's what happened. We were the only writers that Lorne hired that he hadn't met.
And so you get hired.
We get hired. We get there. We were paid as one apprentice writer.
One. That's it.
Somehow the Writers Guild allowed them to do that. So, but we were thrilled. It was our first job in TV.
When did you know it was a hit? When did you know that show was a hit?
This is funny because, okay, so we get the cast starts with Danny Aykroyd and Gilda are there, and Jane Curtin and Lorraine. Belushi wasn't cast yet, but I had met John, and I said, well, of course. And then he did Samurai as his audition. And Chevy was a writer, not a cast member, and got cast. And there was Garrett, and Jane, Lorraine, Gilda, and Danny, and Belushi. And I remember turning to Tom at one point and saying, this show is going to be a giant hit. And Tom, who, we'd been in show business for 2 years, but he was like, nothing. I mean,
right.
And I go, no. It's the first time this generation has been allowed to be on TV.
Right.
Look who's around us. They're the best of the. And so I was sure that it was going to be a hit.
And obviously it was. Al Franken here on the Rich Eisen Show. Fast forwarding a couple of years later, the Stuart Smalley character that you played, where is that born out of? What is that?
Well, I've been very public about this. My wife's in recovery, and I'm in recovery from being a codependent. So I used to go to Al-Anon, and I still do every once in a while. And Al-Anon is for family members and friends of alcoholics.
Yes.
And there was a guy in a meeting who said that he knew the higher power had put an apartment in his life. And I went, this guy's ridiculous. And then the next week, at the same meeting, he said something that hit me very profoundly. And I said, oh, I see. You can learn something from everyone, and everyone has something important, somewhere. And so I kind of model this character a little bit after him, of someone who really, really needed this 12-step program, and who every once in a while would say something that you would go, oh, my God, that's really valuable. So
where did the catchphrase come from?
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
That just was something that you just created, or did he actually say?
No, he hadn't said that.
Oh,
but
okay.
I thought the Stuart character he had all these insecurities, but he wanted everyone to understand the tools of recovery.
Right.
And part of it is saying, I'm good enough. I'm sufficient.
Yes.
And so that was, he got some good, Stuart would say things like, it's easier to put on slippers than it is to carpet the entire world. And that's like brilliant.
It is. And then the last one on this one is, who was the one to pitch the idea to Michael Jordan to say you should go on the Stuart Smalley sketch, like the most self-confident individual of all time? When
that was what
guest
was
hosting.
Great about this, which was that kind of has become. I even had Ted Cruz come up to me on a Monday and go like, Al, I was watching an old SNL rerun and I saw Stuart Smalley with Michael Jordan. That was brilliant. I'm going like, Ted isn't such a bad. Ooh. So
that obviously cut through. But did you have to explain to Jordan what it was, or did he know? He got it. He knew it. He was in. He was in from the beginning.
He completely got it. I had to tell him, don't break.
Yeah.
Because he kind of was in the dress rehearsal kind of breaking. And I said, and it was fine if he almost broke.
Yes.
So, but every once in a while, you're doing a live TV show, and sometimes it peaks on air and sometimes it doesn't. Mm-hmm. And that one peaked on air.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.